Visionaires, this is your girl, the Beth from Just Chilling with Beyond a Vision. Well, just to let you know that it's definitely been a blessing to have you a part of our video. Today we're going to be doing part 2 and part 3 of a 3-part series of food preservation and um, pressure canning. That's what it is. And we're going to be doing that. So, with that being said, if you need paper, pencil, take it out and let's get this going. But I will say we did Mexican chicken today, and we did 2 cups in a 32-ounce jar. We did 2 cups of chicken, 1 cup of diced tomatoes, a half a cup of mushrooms, probably threw a little extra in there a little bit. We did a half a cup of bell peppers. We did a half a tablespoon of garlic. We did a tablespoon, 3 teaspoons of sugar. We did teaspoon of onion powder, garlic powder, half a teaspoon of pepper. So we did that's the recipe, and we put it all together, and then we put water in to fill it to the 1-inch space. We debubbled it, and I use what I always use, which is we used a chopstick, and we had the lid sitting to the side. Of course, I had all my gear on. My head was covered. My apron shirt, I had my gloves on. And so we were doing everything according to what we were supposed to do for the guidelines. And so I just want you all to know it's definitely been a blessing, a pleasure. And if you would like more information, please feel free to look into the information I have on the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Please share it with other people. This is very important. You may not believe it, but this is very, very, very important. There was a young fellow that hit me up and told me that he does not have the ability to can, but he was asking me would I consider canning some jars for him, some shelf life jars. I told him yes. He said, will I have to get my stuff, or would you? I told him no, I would supply what it is according to what you need. So I told him that I explained to him there are many factors as to determine what the price would be per jar, and we could sit down and talk about it before, and there was a deposit, things of that nature. But there's a lot of factors in doing this, and it would be something that you would do people by people, person by person. It wouldn't be a set amount, because you can't determine meals in a jar that way, because different recipes, different pricing, and everything. You have to take time and consider the work I put in, the time I have to sit down here, look around this corner at my canner, and watch it and keep an eye on. That's 90 plus minutes, plus the fact that I have to take the time, cut up, prepare. It's some work in it, so the price, I'm not asking for much, basically labor, and then the ingredients. Jars are not cheap, believe me. Jars are very expensive. A box of jars are $30. So just imagine the price is not bad. So I told him, but one thing I have to give this young fellow credit. He was really game for what I said. He understood, and he was saying, well, that's a good price. So I told him that I would. So I'll tell anybody, if you the meat, I will give you your price ahead of time, because it depends on what kind of meat you want, what kind of recipe you would want. And of course, we all know that you can't put flour and rice and noodles and things like that. Now, those people do rebel canning, but I don't rebel can. I do not rebel can. So, so yes, and there are some different things that I'll be making and everything. Well, I just again thank you. I hope you enjoy this this video, and I hope you learn a lot. And feel free to hit me up in my my DMs. I get messages, and my information's out there, my phone number's out there, all that's out there. So feel free to hit me up, and if something you need, you have problems with, you have questions, your consideration, you want to tell me something, I accept it all. So I respect corrective criticism if it's done in an appropriate way, you know, because we're all in this together and we're all working it out together. So please feel free to reach out. All right. Thank you. And again, enjoy the video. Hey everybody, just to let you know, I do have on my my shirt, my apron shirt, we are making Mexican chicken. I have everything out here. We're gonna do 2 cups of chicken, a cup of tomatoes, a half a cup of onions, and a little bit over half a cup of mushrooms. Okay, we're gonna put some cumin in there. That's usually against my better judgment. Oh, we got bell peppers. We're gonna put a little bit, about a half a cup, a little bit under half a cup of bell peppers. Okay, we got ground pepper, garlic, onion powder, and garlic powder, and cumin, and a little sugar. Okay, the sugar is to cut the tomatoes. Okay, so usually I don't use cumin, but tonight we're gonna use some cumin, and we're gonna make some Mexican chicken. So yep, the diced tomatoes, the onions, the mushrooms, the bell pepper, and the chicken. Okay, I got my gloves on. My hair is, and you'll see it in a few minutes, but my head is covered. I'm putting on my glasses now, and we're about to do this. Okay, so we got 7 jars over here. We got 7 canning jars, and we're doing this in here because I had a health issue today, which resulted in me having to sit down and do this. But nevertheless, so we're gonna do 7 jars. And again, as I said, because of health issues, I have to sit here and do this, but we will be taking these jars to the kitchen. You will be watching me put them in the canner, and I will show you the canner, the process of making sure your canner is safe. And so we got our lids back there, we got our rings right here, so we're going to get this started. So first, in all 7 jars, let's see if I can move these jars around this way some. Let me see if I can get it so you can see most of them. That we're going to start putting 2 cups of chicken per jar. do have my gloves on. So I do have my gloves on. This is 2 cups of chicken. We're gonna just keep filling these up till we get 2 cups of chicken in all of them. We want to make sure we get enough chicken, because who wants to eat Mexican chicken and don't have any chicken? That's a good one, huh? We'll put a little bit more in there. Okay, now with this being said, this can be cooked with some rice, some people might even want to have it with potato, but I say rice. Now you're gonna see on another part of this where when I did this, I made it with I took I bought 2 chickens, I put them in the roaster pan, let them cook until you don't want them all the way done. You didn't want it got a little bit more done than I really actually wanted them to, because I couldn't get back downstairs so as quick as I wanted to, so they ended up down here a little longer than I really wanted them to. And so they ended down here longer than in the oven longer than I wanted them to. So they got a little bit more done than I wanted them to. I wanted them not as done. But nevertheless, we yeah, be careful because I've been put too much in here and can't put the rest of the stuff in. I'm definitely going overboard with the chicken, I tell you. I am. And I know I am. But that's okay. Yeah. Explain to you what I did. So, I throw away. Wow. Pick that up when I'm finished. But I throw away hardly anything. If it can be used for something, believe me, I am using it for it. So, I am so now my next move is see, put that on the freezer. My next move is I am going to put my diced tomatoes in here. I'm going to put a cup of diced tomatoes. And I'm going to do a whole cup of these. Yep. Well, 2 cups rather. I didn't really worry about changing up. I know you probably said, well, she put the spoon. She put the same thing she used for the tomatoes. The chicken she put in the tomatoes. Well, number one, the chicken is done. Because as I told you earlier, I end up having to do more than I planned on. And one cup of tomatoes inside of the jars. And yep, we're putting 1 cup of tomatoes in the jar. It was supposed to come out 7 exactly, and it will, because I'm going to take some of my, I put too much in this one jar, so I'm going to take some of this out. Okay. Yep, sometimes you go overboard when you don't think, and sometimes that's what I do. I go overboard when I don't think. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do, we got all 7 jars with tomatoes in them, some a little bit more than others. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put our mushrooms in. Now, I'm going to do a little different with these mushrooms because I'm not quite for sure. I'm going to use a half a cup of, well, probably about a half a cup of mushrooms. See, I tell you, sometimes I get ahead of myself. But yep. So we're putting in a half a cup of mushrooms in every last one of them. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the next one. And we're going to put another half cup. Yep, I'm in my dining room. In my living room. My basement living room. I'm down here sitting up and everything. And I think we're going to be right on time. Right on time. So we have 2 more to go. And yep. So we got a couple more. We'll have not enough to use for anything, so we might as well just put them inside a couple of these. So what I'm going to do is set this down and put a couple over here. A couple over here, the ones that don't look like I got much in them. Yep. Okay. So we did those. Okay, so now we're doing the we're going to do the bell peppers. Okay, well, we'll put this over here right now. Yep. So we're doing the bell peppers. And we're going to do our seasonings in a minute. Yep, we're going to do the seasonings in a minute. And these I consider as meals in a jar. And we're gonna take these and they're gonna can for 90 minutes. That's an hour and a half. And when we can these, everything came out according to cutting them up and preparing them like I was supposed to. Everything came out just as it was supposed to, and that's good. When you follow the directions and the rules of your meal recipe, well, for the most part is it, and you follow your plan for your meals, and everything usually comes out like it's supposed to. Yeah. So the next thing we're going to put in here is onions. Oh, we know what this is, so we're just going to put this on in here. Okay, so we're putting our onions in here. Oh, we forgot about the garlic. Yep, we didn't put the garlic in, so you got to be more careful. Ooh, yeah, this garlic is definitely strong. Yep. You put basically like a half tablespoon of garlic. We don't want to put too much. Put like a half a tablespoon of garlic. Yep. Then we're going to put some onions in here. Then we're going to start putting our seasonings. As soon as we get these onions in here. Ooh, this garlic is strong. So just to let you know, we put 2 cups of chicken, a cup of diced tomatoes, a half a cup of bell peppers, and a half a tablespoon of a half a cup of mushrooms, I'm sorry, and a half a cup of bell peppers, and a half a tablespoon of onions. I mean, not onions, what is that stuff called? Garlic. So now we're going to, and I tell you, you talk about something that smells garlicky and oniony. Yeah. So we're going to put 2 tablespoons of onions in here, and I'll explain 2 nice heapings of onions, and I'll explain to you why in a minute. Okay. Nice big heapings of onions. Yep. Okay. Nice good heapings. You ain't just talking no little ones. You talk about heapings of onions in here. When we get ready to take this out, we're going to either use cornstarch or something to garlic powder. Yes, garlic powder on top of that garlic. We sure are. So, oh, look at these 2 fighting with each other. Well, I only want one of y'all, so the other one I said, this is a half a teaspoon of garlic. Okay. Last time I showed you my face is not all that important when it comes down to getting these recipes together. Now, I love garlic. I love garlic. I love garlic. I love garlic. Now, we got some cumin. But you know what? We're not going to use a whole bunch of cumin because I don't know how long these jars are going to be sitting before we decide we want to come down and eat something. But basically, the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise. We'll be selling these for $12. Yep. This is a half a teaspoon of cumin. We'll be selling these for $12. Yep. Young fella, I was telling y'all about it, but I didn't really get in depth about it. But the young fella that sent me a package, matter of fact, he sent me 2 packages. And his business, I made sure his business was legit. Didn't want nobody playing no games with me, you know what I'm saying? But he, okay, all of them got, I think I have a whole full half a teaspoon. So, he, came with a business thing, and he told me if I would willing to make meals for him. He was telling me, he said, well, most people are not into, we're going to do a half a teaspoon of pepper. Most people are not really into making the jars themselves. So he said if I would make him the jars. So I told him I was selling the little ones for $12 and the bigger ones $17. Trying to see what I was doing, make sure I'm getting right on and get too much pepper. So he said that was good. But of course, did I put, oh my goodness. Oh yeah, I did. I'm so glad I seen that I did. I did not want to mess up anything. Go upstairs and get me 3 bottles of water. Yep. And a half a teaspoon of onion powder. But a lot of times it depends on your taste and preference when it comes down to seasonings. But me, myself, garlic powder, onion powder, they are my preference. They're definitely my preference. So, okay, so we put all our seasonings in. Now what I'm going to do is fill my jars up with water. Yep, I'm going to fill the jars up with water. And now this is what you do when you take them out. You take them and you pour them inside of your saucepan. You pour them in your saucepan. Now, just because the fact that I don't feel like going to the water, I'm going to just pour this water in here. As I showed y'all before, I have a big blue container of water. I think it's a Primo bottle of water. I just don't feel like getting it right now. So what we're going to do is just use these, and we're going to just use these. And once we get these up to the 1-inch head space, then I'm going to clean off the top of the vinegar, and I'm going to, that's the way the Lord wants it. Thank you so very much. And make sure these is at inch head space, but I told you before, the rate you can tell if it's an inch head space is when you add to that bottom line of the water bottle. And when you're at that bottom line of the jars, then you know you are actually at, let's see, we're gonna need this. Okay, so, oh, I know what I forgot. Oh, I have my container for my sugar. I was forgetting my sugar. Can't forget sugar. Okay. 1, 2, I think 3 teaspoons is a tablespoon. We'll find out, because I have exactly 7 tablespoons in here. So we'll see. Well, I know I have a little bit more. And then, okay. 1, 2, 3. Cut that tomato. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, that one don't have no sugar. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so basically, yeah, because I did put a little bit over. So yeah, that's what we have. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this jar over here in front of you all, and I am going to debubble. Remember we talked about debubbling last time? And I'm definitely going to need some more water because I'm going to go and get some water to put in here, because we want to make sure that we debubble and we mix this all up. It smells so good. Oh my God, this smells so awesome. After we do these, we're going to get the vinegar, and we're going to oh, it smells so good in here. Oh my goodness. So I debubble this. Oh, I debubble this and see what it looks like. Sure does look good to me. So now we're gonna do all 7 of these, and I'll be back once I get them all debubbled. And then I'll let you see me putting the jars, the tops on. And I think I told y'all about this before, but I call it finessing my jars. I check it already when I do it, but I also do it again. This is the vinegar that I go around my jars with, and I call it finessing. I go around and just make sure that my jars are in good shape. Yep, I make sure my jars are in good shape, because we don't want no cracks, we don't want no hairline chips, we don't want nothing. No, we don't want anything. We want to make sure our jars are in good shape so that when we can, everything feels so good and so complete. I tell you, life is grand. So we're in the process of getting this done. And I was supposed to go out today and water my plants, but I didn't. But I guess I'll go out tomorrow. I think I did this one already, but never can be too careful. Yeah, never can be too careful when it comes down to making sure your jars are in good shape. When we're just finessing the tops, make sure we don't feel anything. We don't feel any kind of cracks or anything. All right, so we've done that part, and we're gonna move up a little bit. And this is the magnet that I was telling you all about. I don't usually use it, but we're using it for you guys. We're gonna take it and we're gonna put it on top of the jar, right in the middle. Yep, they were in water. Now they're not. And once I get the rings and the lids on, then I'll be back once I put them in the water. And we're gonna let them go for how long? Who remembers? Anybody who said 90 minutes, they said that right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we did have an extra jar lid. Okay, well that's all right. We still got what we need. Okay. Boom. I had 8. Okay. So we're taking jar lids and we're gonna put them on there, fingertip tight. Just the fingertips. Fingertip tight. Yep, we're putting them on fingertip tight. Oh, that's how we put an alarm on the house. And he's not going back out. And I'll be down here until it's time for me to get ready for bed. So we're doing these and we're putting them on fingertip tight. Yep, just fingertip tight. Oh, got one we didn't put one on. This little one. Okay, now just to talk to you about these jars. All these jars are wide mouth except this one. And if you see this one, it's a lot different than the rest of them. It's smaller. but it's still the same as a, oh, it smells so good. It's still the same, still a 32-ounce jar that we're going to can for 90 minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deglove myself right now, and I'm gonna come back in a bit when I am in the process of putting these jars in the canner. And I'll let you know something. I don't know if you remember this, but I did not, I mean, the chicken was done now. I did the chicken, probably more done it than I wanted. But the chicken was, mostly done. So everything else was like at room temperature and everything. So we're not going to put these in a hot canner because the canner is can't put cool jars in a hot canner. Even though these wasn't raw packed chicken, but the chicken still had been cooked already and put in the refrigerator, and it was still cool. I had to take it out and let it get to room temperature, and everything else came out of the refrigerator was cool or whatever. It was at room temperature. So the water you put it in has to be the same at room temperature. Okay, so we're going to take these jars in the kitchen slowly but surely, and I'm going to hurry up in there because so I can get this to you all. All right. Ooh, look at this jar. Look at these jars. Oh my goodness, can you see them? It's got this, it's all mixed up in there. And when you take them out, I won't be able to touch them. After I do this, I won't be able to touch these jars anymore. I won't be able to touch the jars anymore because the jars will then be too hot to touch. But we got some nice stuff in here, and prayerfully all of them seal. And I'm gonna try one of these very soon. Very soon. Okay, well, we'll be back when to show you the top of the canner, to show you what you need to check for, to show you what my canner looks like. My canner is old, so my canner is not gonna look as pretty as the one I had on the last video. All shiny and new. Ain't gonna look that good. It is old, but it's serving its purpose. I promise you. This smells so good. I could just eat one of these now. Got some chicken left. You know what I might do? Take that chicken and make a chicken salad. Sounds good, doesn't it? Yeah, it sounds good to me too. So I got water in here already. 3 inches of water. But this is the canner. Okay, this is my canner. This is the top to the canner. Okay, make sure that you can push that. This is the valve that I circled. This valve, if it's ever an emergency, this will pop out. Back in the days, they didn't have this. So therefore, if it popped out, if it didn't have nothing pop out, it would explode. But it has one, so that is safe. A little safe. Okay. Right here is your gauge, your dial gauge. Okay? I put a line here because mine is for 10 to 11. This is the hole right here that you look through it and you make sure that you can see the other side. Got my glasses on. So, okay, yep. I can see what's behind the camera. So, right here is the arrows, and the arrows is on the pot, and I have to turn my pot around because I make sure that this arrow and these arrows is lined up this way, so my gauge is showing. Now, I turn my stove on. I have, it's down in here. Let me see if I can get in here without making a mess. This is what's at the bottom of it. And this is to keep your jars from sitting on the bottom. Your jars won't sit on the bottom because the jars should never sit on the bottom. Okay, I'm going to put my jars in now. All 7 of them. And they're going to come up to pressure eventually. And when they come up to pressure, you're going to see steam coming out of this hole. This is this lime water. But pressure, steam going to come out of here. And when the steam come out, you let it steam for 10 minutes. You put your 10-minute timer on, and you let it steam for 10 minutes. And once it steams for 10 minutes, then I'm going to show you. Okay, I put all my jars in. And this is my gauge. I then set this gauge on top of here. Now, if it gets to be too hot, you're going to hear if it gets to be too hot. But more than likely, it won't, because I'm going to watch it. And I'm down here. Okay? So, there's a camera up there that watches the gauge and lets me know where I'm at. So, if I'm doing something, here it is. If I'm doing something, oh yeah, and your rubber. You always make sure that your rubber is in good shape, in which I've done that already. And my rubber is in definitely good shape. So, right here. Oh. Okay. There's an arrow here and an arrow here. And I told you before, I twist it. So now we're just going to let that do its thing. We're going to let it come up. With the steam going to come out of here, and it's going to come out like, it's not going to stop. It's just going to keep going. And you'll see it. And when it does that for 10 minutes, you time it for 10 minutes. Once it tilts for 10 minutes, then you're going to put this on. I put it on now. You're going to put that on. And when you put that on, then you're going to wait. When this comes up and this gets up here to here, then that's when you start counting 90 minutes. When 90 minutes is over with, I'll be back. Okay. We are at that point for my altitude. If you look at it good, you'll see it's still bubbling on the inside. Some of the jars has popped, but not all of them. For being a part of Just Chilling with Beyond a Vision. And today, our video was Food Preservation, Part 2 and Part 3 of 3. And don't forget, please continue to look at the big picture and not through the keyhole. If the Lord say the same and the creek don't rise, we'll be here together again. God bless you. Like, share, and subscribe. Love.